is Rick DeStito. I'm from Syracuse, New York, and hopefully now that I have your attention. Hi, my name is Rick DeStito. I'm from Syracuse, New York. I just turned 30, I just got engaged, and I'm trying to recreate a large section of my city with a very hands-on approach. And I'm hoping you can help me out with that. Now, there's this one section that I call the Warehouse District that I've been looking at for several years, and I tried to talk several developers into moving into the area. I was unsuccessful at it. I've talked to 40 Below groups and all these other people, and while everybody thinks it's a great idea, I couldn't get them on board. Over the past 15 years, thousands and thousands of people have left New York State in search of a better life somewhere else. Out of all the states in the entire country, New York State has had the largest population decline out of any of them. In fact, after college, I too was one of those people that left.
It's what everybody thinks, but they just don't say. Good people leave. They don't say, boy, it's getting bad around here, let's fix everything up, guys. No, they say, oh my God, let's get out of here before our kid has to go to school here. Move to the suburbs, you know? In South Syracuse, people get shot a lot. Things get stolen and broken into a lot. The houses just are completely distressed out of their mind, and nobody cares. And we'll probably see some drug dealers on the corners too. So if you see them, you might want to put the camera down. All these boarded up buildings. This is what I'm talking. This is why people leave and go to the suburbs, not because they don't like living in a tight-knit neighborhoody community. It's because they're afraid of getting shot or robbed. They had drive-by shootings here. Horrible area is a place they want to stay away from, but all I see is cheap buildings, a lot of cool things that could be redone, and just complete 180.
I traveled all over the country for 3 years. During that time, I did door-to-door magazine sales, various types of construction jobs, framed houses. I booked tours for timeshare resorts, as a bouncer in bars, bartending, whatever I could do to travel around the country and find this perfect place somewhere to live. Until one day, I realized that my perfect place was back home in Central New York. And that's when I decided that it's more gratifying to make where you're from how you want it to be instead of looking for it somewhere else. I also took into account, over my travels, what things did I learn? I learned how to build stuff, and I learned how to sell stuff. So, you know, how do I start creating this world I want to live in? Why don't I start with a couple apartment houses and figure out a way to buy them, fix them up, and rent them out. So that's what I did over the past 5 years. I've accumulated 3 apartment houses, 2 and 3 families, and I renovate them into cool places to live.
So now you got the Nelson Street house is like all nice and redone. You got this house on the corner that's getting redone. And now you got my yellow house here. And I want to buy the white house on the corner. And it looks, the guy a couple houses down put windows in his upper porch now instead of instead of plywood, he's got windows there now. So it just all looks better. If I had to show my house, I'd mow their lawn. And about 50 yards of the street, I raked about 50 yards of the street so there wouldn't be any garbage or anything on it when I had to show it to people. I raked all their yards. I walked up to their yards, their front doors, and just raked shit out into the road. And I had huge piles down the street of everybody's garbage and shit out. I was like, I can't show anybody this house with all this garbage and stuff on the street. And here we're going under the bridge that's actually has enough of those grooves in it to spell out Warehouse District. So this is the Delavan Art Gallery here on the left. On the right here, this is where, all the way down the side of the street where this line of telephone poles are, this is where I want the designated bike trail so you can ride your bikes to work instead of having to park and pay for parking somewhere downtown. On your left here, you see this blue building. And on your left up here, you got the crazy coffee guy. Just a little coffee shop in the middle of currently the ghetto right now, but all these old buildings and warehouses, cheap, super cheap. Then as you come up here on the right, this is going to be all park area. That building over here, that's the one I want. That's the original Brown Light building. That's where the first Franklin was made. They are leaving the warehouse district, going into the Tip Hill district. I will make them put Nelson Street in Tip Hill. This is one of the significant things about the whole naming a place. This is Tip Hill. Over there is Strathmore area. The north side, the west side, Eastwood. People are proud to say that they're from specific areas that have been given names, right? So if all of a sudden you call a place a warehouse district, well, that sounds pretty cool. I'd like to be able to say that I live in the warehouse district. In Syracuse? Yeah.
You want to tell me the story real quick?
Quick story?
Yep.
Well, somewhere along the lines, seeing how the entire neighborhood was Irish, they got it in their heads that the red light shouldn't be on top, the green light should be on top. So they kept smashing the street light out, and then they'd fix it and they'd smash it out, and then they'd fix it and they'd smash it out. And dawned on them, well, maybe we should put the green light on top. That way they'll stop smashing it. So that's what the city did. They put the green light on top. So everybody in the Irish neighborhood was happy, and it never got smashed out by rocks and stone throwers again. I believe that if you totally put yourself into something, no matter what it is, as long as it's with good intention, that if there's going to be obstacles, you can go around them, through them, or under them, or over them, or whatever. If you can't find a way to do that, then hopefully, like I said, with good intentions, a way will be created for you. And I'm really hoping that you will be this wild card way that's created for me to hopefully redevelop an entire portion of the city that I live in. So sure, I made a couple houses better, I made a street better, I made a neighborhood a little bit better, but about a year ago I was thinking I wasn't really making the impact that I wanted to make. It's Thursday, August 11th, 2005. It's been a long year and a long time, but we're starting to get somewhere with the warehouse district. This is a PowerPoint presentation as far as the warehouse district is concerned. This would basically be the thing that you have in your hand, which looks very nice. It's almost showtime. The definition of showtime would be I can't do it myself. I don't have any way to guarantee anything for myself, so basically, out of anything that I do, I feel like this is the biggest risk that I'm taking, is telling somebody all my ideas without any collateral. Streets better.
Just add the word street or avenue to it. Just because it may get past to somebody who's not from Syracuse, so they might not know.
Okay.
That's what he likes.
Look at that big for sale sign on the building, Rick.
Which has been there since we moved in.
Programmed to my phone.
Exactly. It used to
How
be a
bad do you
different-
want that building,
It
Rick?
used to be a different company though, didn't it? Who was the one? What was the company before? That CB Ellis guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or whatever.
He told me nobody's even going to show you that building, Rick, unless they know that you have access to money. So by chance, out of nowhere, this warehouse that I've been looking at forever and dreaming about comes up for auction. It's a 65,000 square foot warehouse, and auction was in a few days. I had no idea how I was going to pay for any of it. One particular building that I was looking at, it's on the corner of West Fayette and South Geddes. It's called 200 South Geddes. It's the old Brown Light Beer Company building. It's a 65,000 square foot warehouse. So after my last ridiculous, horrible attempt at getting a developer to buy the property, couldn't do it. So it was going up for auction, and the day before, I found out that I didn't need all the money at once to do it. All I needed was a small portion of that to
for the auction. So I went to the auction. I had enough money in my equity line of credit for my house to cover the 10% down. And I went there in my nice shirt, tie, and I had this business checking book with about $30 in my account, just the big ones, just for show. And I had my home equity line of credit checkbook in my back pocket that I was actually going to pay for everything with. 1 minute before the auction, I walked up to the owner, because I didn't have a lot of money. I walked up to the owner right before, and I asked him if he would be interested in covering half of the purchase price in a mortgage. So I did that, he accepted it, and basically on a handshake, I went to the auction against these other two guys, and went back and forth, up to about 120,000. I dropped out, that was my mark, and it was like going once, going twice, and this other guy jumped in, and they started going back and forth. It was about a 20-30 second period that they were going back and forth. I kind of like came back and thought to myself, I saw my whole life of what could be, depending on what happens at this particular moment. My whole potential life flashed before my eyes, and I said, screw it. If I completely mess up, I don't care, as long as I don't end up being that guy, 70 years old, wondering what if I did this, what if I did that. This, my biggest fear in the world is wondering what if. So they went back and forth for about, like I said, about 20-30 seconds, and at that point I was rejuvenated, came back in. We kept going up to about 140,000, and eventually the other guy dropped out, and I won the auction. And I had absolutely no idea how I was going to pay for any of this, because I had absolutely no money whatsoever. But I had 2 months to come up with the rest of the money. Half of it was covered by the owner. Half of it was like borderline heart attack trying to find. And it was like from like credit cards, note, and equity lines of credit for putting, basically I put everything I had up for this place because I couldn't talk anybody else into buying it and going in on it. I moved back to Syracuse, New York. There's all these things I want to do, but what are my assets? I have no money. How far can I get on good looks, wit, and charm? You're not just helping me, you're helping me recreate a devastated part of my city into this cool, crazy, whatever, warehouse district, all artist-oriented, in hopes that it'll rejuvenate the area, create enough excitement that it will attract people back to the area. All of our friends, brothers, sisters, cousins, family, whoever that left, hopefully we can get them to come back. What I want to do with this building is turn it into a artist live work lofts and create this crazy art district warehouse, and hopefully it'll spur the revitalization of the whole area, because the whole area is actually one of the top 10 poor census tracts in the United States, but it's surrounded by good places. So, well, the good thing about that is, well, other than being surrounded by good places, being as bad as it is right now, the good thing about that is that it could be completely recreated into whatever we want it to be. It's like, Rick, I think your ideas are a little too big for the group. My favorite quote is, it can't be done, but here it is. And those are going to be the words notched over my doors. Basically what it comes down to is making the best of what's around is what I've chosen to do with myself. I've been here for about a year now, and every month I have completely no idea how I'm going to come up with money to just pay my regular bills, let alone try to redevelop the property and recreate this part of my city. So
Okay, we're going to Rick's new house. Is this it?
Oh my god.
Oh my
Right
god.
here, this is it.
Well, it's not too far.
This is it.
Oh my god,
Holy
that's it.
shit.
That's it.
Oh my god. Rick's house, Rick's neighborhood. Oh my god. When you paid them $1, did you get any change back?
Huh?
Oh my God. Richard's got his work cut out for him.
That window, Rick, you gotta fix that window.
Oh, isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
All this trim is in. Well,
We know who was
Somebody
there.
named like John.
Something smaller. You're just asking for trouble if you have big windows like this.
Why?
Because somebody's just going to want to break them.
Who gives a shit? Right? You don't change stuff by being afraid of stuff.
Oh my God, I can't see him moving here for a while. Oh my God. Must be for his fence. I think he's gonna need a security system. Oh, must be.
What a beautiful face I have found in this place that is circling all around the sun. What a beautiful dream that could flash on the screen in a blink of an eye and be gone from me. Soft and sweet, let me hold it close and keep it here with me. And one day we will die and our ashes will fly from the aeroplane over the sea. But for now we are young, let us lay in the sun and count every beautiful thing we can see. Love to be in the arms of all I'm keeping here with me.
November 28th, this will be 20 years to the day of closing on the property. There's things you can do and there's things you can feel. And when those concrete blocks came out and everything was open, there's a very natural feeling to the building. When I first got the building, the first year kind of sucked. And then, to be honest, I kind of connected with a group of artists, Our Evolution, and that's kind of like when I was working on the studios, and we basically worked together to put on a really big art show. They kind of handle a lot of that, and then I handle the space and help make things happen here, and I think that's what really helped get the ball rolling with a lot of the studio things. And when I say we, it's one of those things where I didn't just come up with all the ideas and everything myself. As far as the gear factory, the rehearsal studios, the art studios, the live work apartments, all that kind of stuff. Whenever it's about art, everybody always says, build it and they'll come, right? Huh? Funny. But no, it's actually, if you're talking to the people who are going to be the end users and you're listening to them really well and you're trying to create the thing that all those people want collectively, it's not a build it and they'll come thing, it's a build it and they're already here. And I think that's why it stays pretty much full most of the time, and we got a lot of happy musicians there and artists and other people that are working and trying to make the thing happen. We ended up naming the Gear Factory. There was a bunch of different names, and I wasn't really sure what it was, but we ended up naming it the Gear Factory because it used to be a gear factory, right? So that's like 100 and something years ago. Everything was like going crazy good here, and then things went down, and things are on their way back up. So I wanted to kind of take that good part of the history and kind of highlight that, because that way it's not about the good old days. It's basically it's making a point that everything ebbs and flows and goes up and goes down, and if you catch that, you can make that stay up or go back up. And so basically I wanted to tie the old history to the new purpose, and it's like we did it before, we can do it again. There's a lot of different groups involved in all of this. There's the Near West Side Initiative, who did a lot of planning, everything for the neighborhood and the area. The artists themselves, home headquarters really stepped up, and they helped with lending money to the building to get it built out. The windows are definitely like one of the physical biggest accomplishments. I think going back to the original idea is like, how do we create a scenario where artists can be more successful here rather than somewhere else? I remember the first time when I finished building all the rehearsal studios, and home headquarters was cool enough to go along with a list of people that actually said that they wanted a studio. So then when I went to go advertise that they were actually done, they were actually ready for renting, I remember right before I pushed the button thinking to myself, you people better fucking show up. And they did. And it's full most of the time. So it's I think one of the biggest accomplishments would be knowing that you fill an actual need. Floor by floor, at the Gear Factory right now, the basement's all music rehearsal studios. The first floor is art studios. The third floor is art studios, and the fourth and fifth floor are artist live work apartments. The second floor is the last floor that I have to build out. I'm going to be doing that this year. Every studio was designed to be basically like a blank canvas. And I wanted people to just kind of be able to make them whatever they want them to be. So however they want to feel, that's how they set things up. You know, that's where the tie-in between, you know, how somebody decorates a studio or how somebody decorates their home. How do you decorate a city? That's with public art. This is where all these things tie together and they create a feel for a place. Since we did this, the whole parking lot was redone. We have a green roof on the building as well, and the whole alleyway out back got redone as well. Other than just the dollar houses, there's probably, in the Near West Side, there's more new construction, rehabs. I've had a ton of artists that were tenants of mine at the building, now own property in the neighborhood, just literally around the corner. And I think there's more things going on in this neighborhood than anywhere else in the entire city.
That's much better.
Oh, so this is the Delavan on the left. That was recently sold a few years ago to a guy named Harold. He owns the Boxcar Press, and he's a cool guy. He ended up continuing with all the art studios and all that kind of stuff. He actually added 30 more. So we work together on different projects for the whole area sometimes.
You say this is the kind coffee guy?
This is the kind coffee guy. He changed his mural from the Go Dog Go to Macedonian star. Saturday night was the show we had last night. Today, the unveiling of the Life Art Park. Ideally, what I would hope for is stays up the whole year.
We have the West Side Initiative, which a lot of people will be reading about in the future, which is with a goal of creating an arts community here on the West Side. Really like to thank the artists and the Under 40 group that put this together. And this is a great day in Syracuse, a great day for the West Side. Thank you.
I think we have a new day in Syracuse. Negativity is gone. We have a positive outlook, a positive future. One of the main reasons for that is the efforts of the 40 Below. We had another successful summit. One of the many projects that we took this weekend was the development of this park. They're so powerful, they even got it to rain to water the flowers.
There's been a lot going on the West Side, and there's a lot more to come. As you all know, the Boys and Girls Club just recently opened, and I want to thank Commissioner Driscoll for all the help that he did in looking out for the kids on this side of town.
In the early 1900s, a 26-year-old man named Charles E. Light
set up a machine shop on the corner of South Geddes and West Bath Street. Along with his partner Alexander Brown, Charles Light invited the most prestigious inventors, engineers, and creative minds of the time to utilize his machine shop as an incubator of ingenuity and creativity. Feeding off one another's visions through collective creativity resulted in 360 patents being established from this corner by various inventors of the time. Broom winding machines, post diggers, film-making equipment, automatic looms, and the first two-speed bicycle were invented here. Thus, the area became known as the cradle of industry or the cradle of invention. A new dawn is upon us. An awakening has begun. When I look over this 2-acre strip of green space, I do not see a former brownfield. I do not see a sculpture park. What I see is a bridge to our future, a connection between neighborhoods and people, and a connection to the global community. I see the beginning of a cultural and creative renaissance. The evolution of ideas and positive changes can be seen here before our eyes with the creation of Light Art Park, which would not have been possible without the gracious donations of sculptures from local and regional artists, the hard work of various community groups, and hundreds of volunteers coming together to make this vision a reality. Those of us left here in Syracuse have a responsibility to continue on the path of renaissance and revitalization through the ongoing expression of love amongst our neighbors, the continued celebration of our differences, and the ability to come together as a community. There are many catalysts in this project that need to be recognized and thanked, and soon we will include a list of all those people in the park. There are too many to list today, and it's raining. But I must take the time to thank 3 individuals. The original inventor, Charles E. Light, for the foundation that he has created for us in this neighborhood. The man with the vision of Light Art Park, Richard DeStito. This is a man who's taken many personal risks to make our city a more vibrant place to work, live, and play. Thank you, Rick. And finally, my Lord Christ, for all of the blessings he has bestowed upon me and the community and the park. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, why did you choose this particular location?
This location just makes the most sense. A lot of people in Syracuse, a lot of real estate investors and a lot of other people consider Syracuse to be a pockety city, like a good area, bad area, good area, bad area. So to me, it just seems obvious to start taking those areas that are already good and work your way in and connect them. In this instance, what we're really trying to do is take an area that's been depressed for quite a while and connect downtown to Tipperary Hill, then connect this area to Onondaga Hill, and everything work its way together. What this really does is people need other people to feel safe. So by creating a park, you're creating people traffic, and when people drive by here, when they walk through here, all of a sudden you're going to change perception of an area just about overnight.
Now, is this a place that's a work in progress? You keep seeing you add new, different artwork here.
One of the big things is we want to keep everything new, so things don't get stale. This is the first unveiling of the park, and it's just going to be continuously changing. This is the big push for the start, but what we hope to do is turn it into a more permanent park with more permanent structures, but always rotating sculptures, so it's always new.
How does it feel finally it's all done? You finally get to unveil all the work paid off.
I think it's great. What I say to a lot of people is, it's like there's thousands of ideas that are thought up of every day, but what's more rare is when groups of people get together and really make it a reality. Me and a bunch of other people got the ball rolling, did a few kind of guerrilla art shows there first, and then got the permission from Sedco to create an art park. And then that was in conjunction with 40 Below, and I did a show there, another thing there with Arvolution and other artists, and formed a Friends of Life Art Park group. We've done a ton of shows annually there. Then during COVID, everything kind of got messed up for a little while, but that's also when there was a bunch of improvements to the property with trails and more mural opportunities, the pump track, that kind of stuff. And then coming out of COVID, that's when the city took ownership of the park from Sedco, and now it's like a legit city park. The Ponchitos building. So I went to home headquarters with the idea of making that into just redoing the building, because it was more about the previous owners. Nobody's done anything with that poor building over the last 100 years. So I went to home headquarters with the idea of trying to redevelop that and get rid of the previous owner. Then we went through, did the whole thing. Eventually I sold my half off, let my side go. And it ended up being 3 apartments upstairs, and Panchitos is on the downstairs. It's really good Latin American food. They have a strange cult-like following, but it's because their food is so good. The new building is kind of like where the first building came from. It's been the hardware store forever, but a little over 100 years ago it was the Lipe shop. That was Charles Lipe. It was kind of an informal business incubator for a bunch of local inventors, and hundreds and hundreds of patents came out of that little building and my building there, the Gear Factory. And that's kind of the coolest part about the whole project, is kind of bringing all that history back out. This brick building is going to be 39 condos now. And this 6-story building over here, that's going to be the new home of the Syracuse Police Department back offices. So all that's going to be done. There's going to be like 400 and something cops working there. Going over this 20 years later, after seeing myself on film from back then, made me think that everybody says, what would the older you tell the younger you? Because everybody's got to answer for that. But I think sometimes some people should ask, what would the younger you tell the older you? Or remind the older you of? Because there's... you might not know as much, but the level of enthusiasm is a lot more.
Probably 20% of the city is my goal of revitalizing, and I'm going to do it one way or another. I'm going to do it, and I hope that you guys will help me out, help the cause. I have put up everything that I own to try and accomplish this, and I'm going to keep going. One way or another, I'll do it, and I'm hoping that that you guys can be my way when there was no way.
Have I reached my goal or not? I don't know, because it's always changing. Because originally it was kind of like built around the idea of getting people to come back to New York and do all these things, and then after a while you realize that those people are already living somewhere, they already have families, they have kids, they're in school, so it's probably not going to happen. So I guess the next best thing is 20 years later, I have kids now, and instead of not liking it here or complaining about the weather, all that other stuff, I think most kids here nowadays think it's a pretty awesome place, and I think they're just going to stay, or maybe they'll take off, but I think they actually genuinely like it here instead of being taught that it sucks. So you're on the Gear Factory. It's something I've wanted to do forever. I wanted to kind of make I didn't know if I wanted to be a quote or something, but what one's right and what one's wrong. And I wanted to almost be a message to everybody in the city as kind of a collective conscious. I came across the words more fade, looked it up, and I was like, oh wow, it's like a whole philosophical statement wrapped up into 2 little words. And that's basically, that's how I've been trying to live my life forever. Where basically it's not just that, being happy about the good times, but it's about really appreciating all the trips and stumbles and bad things that happen to you along the way too, because that makes you the whole person. And it's about, what do you learn from those bad parts? What do you when you gain from them, how can you make this into a positive? Basically, it's taking every situation and making it into something